The Walt Disney Company just had a large amount of data leak out from Slack, an internal messaging system used by the company and provided by Salesforce. Well, now Disney is abandoning that software, but what's more, that software is being supported by the board of directors of Salesforce, including Mason Morfitt, one of Bob Iger's greatest defenders in the proxy fight with Nelson Peltz. Is this a stab in the back? Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, a long-winded investigative reporter from That Park Place, and here with me is my good friend, Culture Casino. Culture, how many times did I record that intro?
I don't know, 4?
Well, there was a lot to talk about, and there was part of me that wanted everyone to understand just what a big deal and what kind of smack in the face this is. But I decided I'd shorten it from the original 2 or 3 versions that I put out here. This is the headline from Wall Street Journal: Disney to stop using Slack following hack that exposed company data. The only issue I have here is the characterization of a hack. I have some questions here, not for the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal does an excellent job. Whether or not this was a leak or a hack, whether or not it was coordinated with an employee of the company. I hear rumors that it was a leak, but if the paper of record here, and I know that I'm referring to Wall Street Journal as the paper of record, says that it's a hack, well, maybe it's a hack. The company said in a memo that most of its businesses would stop using the tool by the end of this year. This is by Robbie Whalen from the Wall Street Journal. Have you heard about this story, Culture?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the data theft was famous, and I actually speculated a few times about how this could go about without anybody being aware, including a USB loaded trigger point that would load a keylogger and basically a set of instructions to go through and essentially data dump all of this to a specific location. So this could all be done by putting a USB on a park bench somewhere outside the building and an unsuspecting person picking it up and putting it in their computer.
I think I saw that in a TV show about hackers one time. It's an interesting strategy.
It's actually one of many ways to do it. In fact, there's wonderful videos on exactly how to do that on YouTube. So yeah,
I would never encourage that.
Oh no, certainly
anyone,
not.
Of course,
Disney
plans to transition away from its use of Slack as a company-wide workplace collaboration system, a move that comes after a hacking entity stole and leaked online more than 1 terabyte of company data. The company's chief financial officer, Hugh Johnston, announced the plan change in an internal memo this week, saying most of Disney's businesses could stop using the service later this year. Many teams at the company had already started to transition to streamlined enterprise-wide collaboration tools, said the memo, which was reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. I'm just going to throw a guess out there. If they're not using Slack, they're probably using Microsoft Teams. That comes with many Office suites anyways and integrates well with Microsoft Office, which is unfortunately the software that most businesses use. Any other ideas on that, Culture?
Well, I mean, there is a Google product out there as well to keep your team together, or there used to be. I don't, since I stopped using Google Suite, I can't even tell you if that still exists. But yeah, but no, your guess is correct. I believe with Disney, they are definitely very heavy on the Windows side of things.
I would imagine so. In fact, I think I saw from a video that maybe even Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway might operate using Windows. Where we have opportunities to leverage more integrated tools and platforms, we should, the memo said. Oliver Darcy's status newsletter previously reported the move. A Disney spokesman didn't immediately provide comment. A spokesperson for Salesforce, which owns Slack, declined to comment. I wonder if this is where Salesforce found out about this change here. And Culture, you already know where I'm going with this, but this hack or leak or whatever it is, the leak of data, it let out a lot of information that should not have been let out into the public. And I'm not saying that because it was in the leak, that means it's true, but there were reports that the internal information, unaudited information, said that they made $741 million just on Genie Plus alone since the sunrising of that service and before it was rebranded to Lightning Lane Multipass, or that I believe that it was stated in there perhaps that Black Widow cost $300 million to make. I'm forgetting some of the key details here. There were some interesting things on that leak, and we've covered it here on. I'm forgetting that only 43% of streaming revenue came from Disney Plus, which is amazing. Also, considering that nobody watches Disney Plus, then they're making a surprising amount of money off of that. But it does verify something that I've said for a long time, that Hulu is where they make their money. But here's the thing that I want to talk about. In activist battle, Disney reveals its own reinforcements ahead of shareholder meeting. Believe it or not, this is directly related, as the House of Mouse contends with a proxy challenge from Ike Perlmutter, Nelson Peltz, and his firm, Trian Partners. The Bob Iger-run firm secured the backing of a shareholder Value Capital Management for its board of directors nominees, specifically that Mason Morfitt. Where's his name in here? Why is it taking so long to find the name of Mason Morfitt? No, they got it here. In backing the Iger-run Disney, Morfitt said Disney is the world's leading entertainment company. It has the best intellectual property, sports brand, and parks and experiences assets in the industry. A legacy technologies transition to digital platforms, as we believe Disney can lead the media industry forward. Perhaps he wasn't thinking about this, but because Mason Morfitt right here is the CEO of Great Value Capital here. And apparently Disney has decided in their leading technology move to abandon the software being used by his good friend Mason Morfitt here. I wonder if he's upset about this. Culture, would you be upset about this?
I think I would be. I mean, I kind of stuck my neck out for you, and you're bailing off my product, not allowing me to sort out whatever it was that made it vulnerable. And instead you're just walking away and not utilizing, my amazing software and paying me an enormous amount of money, or at least, something I'm invested in anyway, or a member of the board, I should say.
Yeah, that's a very good point. No, he's heavily involved here at Salesforce, and he also heavily involved is one that probably needs citation here. He's fought hard for his position here at Salesforce. Also, you might notice who was the person who made this announcement to the company? Well, it was Hugh Johnston here, the CFO of the Walt Disney Company. Did you know that Hugh Johnston, I'm not sure if he still is, but he was a member of the Microsoft board of directors for a little while. Do you know whose seat he took?
No.
He took that guy's seat.
Oh.
So
yeah. I don't think he may not be a huge fan of Mason Morfitt, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if this is that everybody was buddy here. And of course, it could have been that Mason Morfitt, who maybe is a guy that he lives in Brentwood with his wife, Jordana Brewster, lovely lady that she is, that maybe he was talking with Bob Iger, and he said, you know what you ought to do? You ought to get that Hugh Johnston guy to be the CFO of your company. Since you fired Christine McCarthy. Sorry. Publicly, it's that she stepped down for health reasons. But in reality, it's that he fired her, allegedly. I'm going to throw that in there for journalistic reasons. But several sources have said that she was encouraged to leave at the least and fired at the worst. So I'm going to say that maybe even Mason Morfitt played a hand in getting Hugh Johnston there at the company here. I could speculate on this all day. We don't really know. I will say that it sounds like Salesforce has a reduced amount of revenue from this change being done by Bob Iger's company here. So the Disney company hasn't really made any public comments on the Slack issue or the fact that their internal data was leaked out to the public. But here it is. Seems like that's the reaction there, and it's a lack of faith in their activist investors' opinions. An activist investor who has the opinion that Bob Iger is doing a great job. I guess his opinions aren't what they used to be.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just they appreciate the activist investor, but not the products that they put out.
Yep. Well, the other question, of course, would be, and Mason Morfitt is a guy who goes from company to company. He's not like other activist investors. He's the one who comes in and encourages you to do subscription. What is it called? Software as a subscription.
Yeah, service. Yeah, software as a service.
Yeah. Adobe. For those of you paying for Adobe Creative Cloud, you can thank Mason Morfitt for that. For those of you wishing to just buy classic Nintendo games on Nintendo Switch Online, well, I'm not saying that was Mason Morfitt, but Mason Morfitt is heavily invested in Nintendo. So If Disney comes up with a subscription service sometime real soon, maybe that's less likely now. I don't know. Maybe we should stop the speculation here. But Culture, do you have anything you want to throw in here before we ask our commenters what they think?
I think that this is a slap in the face at the very minimum. Incredibly embarrassing, in the medium, and downright diabolical if this was done by somebody other than Iger. If it was this other fella that walked in to replace Iger.
Interesting to me. Very interesting to me. But that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters. When we follow these little internal boardroom issues here, is this something that you like? Of course, if you like this video, hit the like button. But is this something that is of interest to you? Because I don't think you're going to get this on the other Disney parks sites here, those magical ones out there, the daily news ones there. So this is something that only we do. I'm not saying we're the only ones who will ever do it, but we're probably the only Disney branded ones that will do it. Not that we're associated with the Disney company. Let us know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below, and consider subscribing to That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.